So, like we started last week to answer questions of our viewers and students. So, anyone that wants to ask some questions, we would love to answer. Please.
Yeah, you spoke about in one of the classes that there's a time to, like Moshe Rabbeinu when he threw the luchot. So me and Yochanan were talking about it. Vatashleich emet arza, you said, right? How can a person know when it's for him to do it and when it's not to do it? When do you apply it? Can a person really know that he can apply it? Is it for the tzaddikim? In my situation, I'm saying like halacha. Like sometimes a person might be confronted in a situation where he can either break a law, to save a soul, or like how much of yourself to sacrifice in those moments, or how much of the halakha to sacrifice at those moments. What's that idea?
Very good question. The answer is even better. It's written that if a person is counting on Hashem Yitbarach, so the kindness of Hashem Yitbarach gonna surround him, gonna hug him, and then he will have help from heaven, siyata dishmaya, in everything that he does. The only way that a person can succeed in life is if he is always in touch with the Creator. Only if he is committing himself to Him always, so he's gonna meet Him always, so he's gonna find Him always, he's gonna be answered always, and you're going to feel the presence of Hashem Yitbarach always. When a person is dividing himself, cutting himself, chas v'shalom, from his side, from the Creator, so it can be that he's going to find himself in a different time, alone without Hashem Yitbarach. At least he's going to feel that. For sure Hashem is going to be there also, but he will not going to be able to see that. It's written even in the Gemara Kedosha on Moshe Rabbeinu, that Hashem Yitbarach is saying to Moshe, there was a certain time that you didn't want to see me, so now that you want to see me, I will not going to reveal myself to you. So it's not a revenge, it's a result of the acts of the person. The righteous people went through those things that through their life story we're going to learn about ourselves, what we should do, and how we're going to find Hashem's presence in all of our situations, in all of our life. So a person can try to do things for Hashem Yitbarach and to find himself that he done something wrong. Why? Only because that he was letting it be in different situations, to be as it is without Hashem, and it was comfortable for him to live without Hashem, so to speak, not to think about Hashem, not to try to connect himself to Hashem. So then he gonna pay for those moments that he let Hashem go by finding himself in situations that he needs Hashem and not to find Him. Those moments that the person cannot find Hashem are waking up the person to realize how much he needs Hashem. This is the reason why Hashem hides His face. Hashem hides His face because He wants you to look for Him, to find Him more. So, if now a person wants to know what to do in a situation that you have to choose between right and wrong, good and bad, light or darkness or whatever, and he doesn't really know what to do, because from one side he wants to learn Torah, and from the other side his wife, she wants him to help her to go shopping. And now he's got Bitul Torah in one side, he understands that he have to learn Torah. From the other side there's a human being, there's his wife, she needs help now. It's hard for him to choose. From every side it looks like a mitzvah, and to not to listen or not to keep it look like a very big averah for him also from both of the sides. and you need to choose. How are you going to know how to choose? How are you going to know if to cancel your limud Torah today, or to say to your wife, I'm sorry, I took that on myself and I have to complete my limud today? How are you going to know how to choose? So the only way that you can know how to choose gonna be as a result of how you run the rest of your life. If you're lying in the rest of your life and you're not committing yourself to Hashem, you will not gonna know how to choose. If you still have lusts and desires and imaginations that you're choosing them once in a while, you will not gonna know how to choose. It's a result. It's a straight result. It's what that's gonna happen that you will not gonna know. But if every time and every moment in your life you try not to listen to yourself, just to listen to what that Hashem wants, so in that moment you're gonna choose the right thing. And it doesn't have to be that you're gonna know that you chose the right thing. But if you know that you're doing the maximum that you can, and at least you know that you're trying very hard to commit yourself to Hashem Yitbarach, you should have that confidence to know for sure that whatever you're going to decide, it's the right thing. You need to believe in yourself. And even if now you're going to decide to tell your wife, I'm sorry, I cannot come shopping with you, that everyone's going to say, alright, by my shita, let's cancel Torah, let's go help the wife, right? That's the first choice you're going to choose. No. Sometimes you need to know how to say no. Sometimes you need to say, I have to do something. And even if it's going to bring you to a situation that you will feel like that you made something wrong, even if you're going to find yourself in a situation that you will find your doubts and your lack of faith and lack of confidence, and you will not going to know if you chose right or not, you should know it was all from Hashem. If you haven't prayed on something, you cannot be sure that Hashem is going to be there for you. But if you prayed, if you tried, if you made your hishtadlut and you try to think about Hashem and you try to choose out of thinking, awareness to your situation and out of faith to bring Hashem into that choice, so then you need to be sure that what that you're doing is the will of Hashem and that Hashem is with you, even if the results will not going to see so illuminating. That's real confidence. Real confidence, faith in Hashem. It means that you know that Hashem is going to be with you no matter what. Even if it's going to look like you made a mistake, also that mistake is from Hashem. People that are blaming themselves on their mistakes, it's people that they don't believe that Hashem is running the show and have 100% control on everything. When you have that, so you don't feel no pain even from your mistakes. You look in situations that, like the sin, the horrible sin of the golden calf, and look how much Torah came out from that sin. Look, a huge parasha from the Torah only telling us about that sin, and how many halachot we learned, and how much inspiration we got from that story for the generation, how much power it gives us today not to sin, to stay away from worshipping idols, from acting like clowns, like I don't know what, in a bad behavior, to try to keep ourselves modest and to attach ourselves to chachamim, and all of that lesson we learned because of the sin. So you see, the sin is bringing so many good fruits in the end that of course you're not allowed to choose it. But if you came to the place that Chas Shalom Hashem brought you to that place, to that sin, you need to know for sure there's a good reason, a good cause, there's a purpose for that, for the reason why Hashem pushed you to that place. That you're going to find Him, that you're going to see good things that are coming out from everything that He made, from every part of the creation of Hashem.
Okay, so David from New Jersey says, why do some Jews not marry other Jews? I think that's weird. I'm an Ashkenazi Jew, married to a Sephardic woman, and I think that people way overdo it with race.
He wants to know the approach of grace.
Yeah, he wants to know why is it, why did they get into that? Jews are Jews.
Why Sfaradim, Ashkenazim, all that stuff?
Yeah, why is it like some Jews that don't marry other Jews, or like, Persians prefer to marry Persians, and Ashkenazis prefer to marry Ashkenazis, etc.?
It's two questions, actually.
So the thing that I think is, when a person is arrogant, so he will always gonna be arrogant. Can be a person that he himself is arrogant. Now he finds himself in an Ashkenazi body, so he thinks to himself that to be Ashkenazi it's better than to be Sfaradi. But if the same arrogant person would find himself in a Sfaradi body, in a Sfaradi family, he would know for sure that to be Sfaradi is a lot better than to be Ashkenazi, because he's arrogant. And if he would be Persian, or if he would be Indian, so he would think the same. So it's just a result of being arrogant, and there's nothing else to it at all. There is no wisdom in it, there is no tradition in it, there is no good customs, good behavior in it. It's all an idea that came by the Yetzer Hara, that took advantage of the exile on Am Yisrael, and he found another way to separate them and to break families and to ruin. If you have the Levi's family and Cohen's family all over the world, Persians and Irakim and Moroccaim and Ashkenazim, Sfaradim, from all kinds of from all of the lands. So it's the same family. It's from the tribe of Levi. It's from the tribe of Kohanim. It's from another family and another family. It's all imaginations. It's all just a bunch of imagination. So for sure it's a mistake. For sure it's a horrible thing. If you have a person that grew up with a certain culture and way of life, and you feel more comfortable with someone that lived a certain life that's close to him with the same minhagim, no problem that you're going to marry someone that's similar to him, that you're going to feel more comfortable, more warm, more like he knows it's okay. But it doesn't make you to be better if you're something else than someone else, like we said before already, that always to think that you're better than someone else is a lie. It's a play of Yetzer Hara.
Benji from Montreal says, I have a few tattoos, and I want to know why Jews can't get tattoos.
I heard a few things about it. First of all, the simple answer why Jews cannot, it's because the halakha is saying you're not allowed to. In the Chumash it's written, mitzvah mideoraita, an obligation from the Holy Torah, from the Bible, that you're not allowed to make no kind of tattoo, and not even to scratch yourself and to hurt your body in no way. That's the halachic reason.
He was saying Benji from Montreal was saying that he heard that, but tattoos is not cutting yourself. He said they used to cut themselves back in the day.
Oh, no. There is halakha, and in the halakha, the Shulchan Aruch is explaining all of the ways to make tattoos, and he's bringing the two ways that you have. First of all, that you put the ink on top of the skin, and then you make a hole and push and penetrate the ink into the color into the skin. That's one shita. And the other shita is that you scratch yourself, make that wound, and then put the ink inside. Today, those machines that are bringing the ink inside, unfortunately I have a bad experience with it, they're doing exactly the same. They're making a cut, they're making a small hole, and then they're pushing in the ink inside into the body. So it's exactly like the halakha is saying to do that. That's from the side of the halakha, it's a prohibition. Why? There are a lot of reasons, and Hashem knows a lot better than us. Just that people will know if someone made a tattoo and you haven't removed it, and there are very good ways to remove it today with laser and stuff like that, very easy and not painful at all, and good results also. if a person is not removing his tattoo, after 120 years, when he's gonna be buried in Jewish burial, they're gonna cut his skin off. And the skin with that tattoo will not gonna be buried with him. And no one wants to have such a disgrace after death to be cut. And that someone gonna remove his tattoos, because it's a huge shame for a person to come in front of court in heaven with tattoos. It's a risk for the soul. It's going to be damaged. That soul is going to be very damaged in heaven, standing like that in trial in front of Hashem Yitbarach. It's going to be a horrible disgrace for that soul. This is why, out of an act of mercy, the Chevra Kadisha, they're removing that tattoo from the person after his death. So this is why it's very important and good. And still, I'm talking only halachically, in a physical way, to do that before of the spiritual results. How much it's that we can talk about it a little bit also now. How much it's damaging the life of a person, even in this world. The disgrace in the world to come is horrible. We don't want to have that, but also it's damaging in this world. I heard once that Rav Berland said that the tattoo is the only kind of tum'ah, of contamination, that you cannot purify through mikveh. All kinds of contamination, even tum'at met, the worst tum'ah of them all, in the end, to complete the purification, you need to go to the mikveh, and then you go out from the mikveh pure. But when you have a tattoo, you go with the tattoo into the water, and you go out from the water with the same tattoo. It's the only kind of contamination that's stuck on the body of the person and doesn't leave him in no way, except of those amazing ways that Hashem gave us today in this generation, that we can take it off easily. Every organ is, our body is like a keyboard, like a screen. The light of Hashem is hovering on the body of the person. That's the soul of the person. If a person putting some kind of color, of ink, he's blocking the light of Hashem from that organ, and to that organ there's spiritual meaning and spiritual effect on the person. So he will always gonna be limited and blocked in that term, in that way, in that part of his life. There are people that are putting their tattoo on their heart, someone else on their arm in the place of tefillin, someone else on the finger, someone else on the forehead. Everyone is blocking something. Maybe you were not aware to yourself when you went to do that tattoo, what brought you to do that tattoo, but it was actually a certain spiritual lacking, a certain Yetzer Hara that dressed himself on that person in that place and blocked him for good, blocked him for the future, until that person gonna go and gonna take off, gonna remove that tattoo. I went once when I was young, when I was 18, to a certain Rabbi Mekubal in Jerusalem, a very, very huge rabbi, and he saw that I had a very big tattoo on my hand, and he looked at me, and he went very close to my tattoo, and he said, "I see snakes come out from your tattoo and trying to bite me." That's what he told me. And I was totally scared. I felt like he's saying 100% the truth. I knew that he was right. And then he told me, if I would be you, I would take a knife and cut it off. Now. That's what he told me. With his knowledge, with his understanding, with what that he knows, how much it's damaging the person, he would cut his flesh, mamash, cut his skin out, now. For me, it took some 5 or 6 years more after it. He went to go and to do laser treatments, and I removed my tattoos, thank God. But it's blocking and damaging and contaminating the person in hard ways. Hard ways. It's very wrong, very bad for you. It's not like if you want to fight with someone, it's okay by us. We don't mind that you're going to fight. if you want to argue. But from our life experience, from what that we learned, it's very bad and damaging for the person to have a tattoo. Even a gentle and cute and harmless tattoo is very like Casper, the Jewish ghost, friendly ghost, is not. It's not good.
Somebody's asking online. They want to know, from a beginner standpoint, how would you explain Yetzirah? Is it an angel? Is it something external? Is it something internal? How would you explain to them the concept? Because you say in the Shiurim a lot, Yetzirah, people don't know what it means.
So first of all, Rabbi Nachman of Breslev, he explained to us that the Yetzirah is the power of imagination. That's what the Yetzirah is doing. He lets the person imagine things that are not really exist in reality. That's the Yetzirah. So it's coming through the thoughts and it's coming through the emotions of the person from inside, and it dressed itself in other people's hearts and thoughts exactly the same. So you can find Yetzirah acting, behaving outside exactly like you find him inside. And if you have cruelty inside, so you're going to see cruel people. If you have lusts and desires for certain things, you're going to see people doing the same things that you have inside. When you clean yourself and you kill the Yetzirah, the power of imagination from inside, and you see things straight, you see everything in faith, you understand that it's all for the good, you know that Hashem is with you, you're not afraid, you have powers and happiness and inner joy. When you go like that, you will not going to be afraid to confront and to fight and to deal with people that they have Yetzirah. They will never going to be able to harm you, to hurt you in no way.
How would you approach the part of the question that is it an angel or not?
So first of all, Chachamenu told that it is an angel. It's an angel that his effect on the person is to bring him to certain imaginations. It depends on the person, depends in the mission that angel calls angel of death. That's Malach HaMavet. But also to wake us up, to understand there is no death. It's the power of imagination. To tell you you're going to die, why people are afraid to die? It's an imagination. There's nothing to be afraid of. You're going to meet Hashem finally. You're going to meet. That's where the imagination is going to finish. That's when you're going to find the truth. So a person that he holds the truth is not afraid to die. He doesn't care about life or death. He just wants to be with Hashem. So it is an angel. And Rabbi Yehuda Ptaya, there was a huge righteous man in Mikubal, he said that that's the biggest angel and the most important angel in heaven. Big, huge, he's got a huge job. And not only to take lives, he's taking the life in every moment and every situation that he can, or the physical life, or that he can take the happiness and the joy and the faith from the person. And like Rabbeinu said, the person who doesn't have faith, you cannot call his life life. It's not life. It's not the life.
Yeah. This is a nice one. Hello, Rav Dror. My name is Eli Chaver from Mexico City. Why do all Jews have to live in Israel? We have a good life out here, and I don't see a reason why I need to move to Israel. I can support Israel and help from here where I work, etc.
Okay, let's talk in a couple of years.
That's what the Jews in Germany said.
No, look, we're not.
Tell us, Chaver.
No, the bottom line, like we just said, there are a lot of imaginations. You can feel that chocolate is very good for you because it makes you happy. You can feel that next cup of coffee or glass of beer gonna make you happy now, and it's an imagination because it just hurts you. It doesn't give you nothing real. It doesn't bring you forward to get closer to Hashem, to have faith. So, if your purpose, my dear friend, is to live a good life, so go for it. You can do it. You can do it in Mexico, you can do it in Bangkok, you can do it in Thailand, you can wherever in the United States. If that's the purpose of your life, you can try to achieve it, no problem. The Jews have a different purpose in life. Jews are a nation that created to serve the Creator. And the place to serve Him is in the land that He chose for us and gave us. So if our purpose is to enjoy life, so for sure we can do it. Someone likes Mexico, someone else likes different places, someone likes to eat healthy, and someone else likes to eat junk. It's every person gonna choose for himself, if that's the purpose of his life, to try to satisfy himself as much as he can. But the Jews have a different purpose in life, and their purpose in life is to serve the Creator and to commit themselves to Hashem's will, and to try to ask themselves what Hashem wants from us, what Hashem wants me to do, not what's gonna make me more happy, more satisfied, more relaxed, more I don't know. Because you can choose Mexico and someone else can use drugs. And even if you say, how can you compare? I'm telling you, the Torah said the truth, and all of the rest is imaginations. So there are imaginations that are worst and they're damaging other people even more, and there are imaginations that are just keeping the person far from the purpose and from faith and from real hope. It's written in the Holy Gemara, in the Mishnah, that a person that lives in Eretz Israel, he lives like a person that have God with him. And a person that lives outside of Eretz Israel is like a person that lives without God. With that, I cannot argue. When I hear that, my organs are shaking, my body is terrified to think that there are people that can choose to live without God. So you can say we don't know it, we don't believe in it. Okay, but it will not gonna change the truth of what that Rabbotenu said, that if you live outside of Eretz Israel, it's like you live without God. And even though the people live comfortable life, it doesn't mean nothing, because really the spiritual development that you're going to feel in the moment that your leg is going to step on the holy ground of the land of Israel, then you're going to understand that there is a lot more to life than to live comfortable life. And I'm sorry to say, and I hope I'm not insulting no one, we don't need your help. We don't need no one's help. You need to help because you need to tie yourself to Eretz Israel, to connect yourself to Eretz Israel, because if you're not doing that, you're out. You're in a horrible place, you're in the exile, you're in the place of the foreign nations, in the place of darkness, in the place of night, place of evil. And you have to link and connect yourself to Eretz Israel, that you're going to have a link, that you're going to have a pipe, that through that pipe you're going to drone, you're going to pull some Kedusha, some purity, some holiness into your place, into the place that you are at now. We don't need your help. You're not helping us. It's an imagination that you think that you're helping us, because we're actually helping you. With the Torah that we're learning, you can stay alive over there. But if we will not going to sit here and learn Torah, the nation's going to swallow you alive. And if we're going to learn enough Torah, also your will going to wake up enough to decide that you want to join us. The fact that you don't want to join us, it's also because we're not learning enough Torah. That because we're not watching our Kedusha enough, and the light of holiness is not illuminating enough that everyone's going to see and recognize that the truth is here. But we don't need no one's help. We have Hashem, and we live from the mouth and from the kindness and from the generous hands of Hashem. And we can feel it here in Eretz Israel. And all the Jews and everyone are more than welcome to come and to see that. Yes.
Just into the comparison about this, about what you're saying, you don't need people's help, you don't need people's things, you need them. And it's very interesting, when Avram came back from saving Lot, the king, skips my head the name, he said to him, he says, take all the stuff, he said, give me the nefesh, I want the neshama nefushes. That's the Chutz La'aretz wants. They want people to stay, like, give all your stuff to Eretz Yisrael, give everything over, but the nefesh, you stay here. It's almost the same thing.
It's very painful. It's a disaster. It's something that, people don't like to be rebuked. People don't like to be rebuked. So it's better not to ask if you don't want really to know. If you want to know and you ask, so you need to be ready to accept the answer. The answer is the truth is very sharp, it's very straight, it's or yes or no. I remember I once came to Rav Alter David Chaim Stern and I asked him a certain question and he wasn't answering to me. A lot of times I asked him again and again and I came again and again and he was pushing me and he wasn't answering. In the end he came to me and he told me, listen, if you want me to answer, I can ask Hashem that question. And then I'm going to ask you. And then I'm going to answer you. But after I'm going to answer you, if you will not going to do what that I told you, it can be very bad for you. So think again if you want to ask, or maybe you rather not to ask. And I chose to ask, and I asked, and he didn't answer. Because he knew already that I'm not able to deal with that answer. It was a big answer. It was a big no for me. I wasn't able to deal with it. So he didn't answer. He took that question and he asked it, and after 2 or 3 weeks he told me, one of his helpers told me that he's got an answer for me, but I couldn't go and take that answer. And I wasn't receiving that answer. Life answered that answer for me after a while. Life taught me that answer, and then I was able to accept it and to receive it. But if I would hear it from him straight, it would be too hard for me. So sometimes you need to be careful with your questions, and I don't mind to answer. That's the truth. The truth is that we have our home. That's our home. That's our house. That's our safety. That's the promised land. Here we have future. Over there we don't have future. The Torah is telling us what's going to happen in the future. In the future, here going to be good. And here going to be light. And here going to be life and success and eternal life in Beis Hamikdash. And over there, it won't be so pleasant to stay. That's it. Yes. Kiva.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Shrafa is asking online, can I repeat the prayers of Amidah whenever I want?
What that we allow to repeat is the middle blessings, not the first 3 and not the last 3 blessings. And also in the middle brachot, in the middle blessings, we allow to repeat only on the words of the beginning of the blessing, of each blessing and blessing, and not the actual blessing. Not to say Baruch Atah Hashem and the end of that bracha. On that we're not allowed to repeat. On the Baruch Atah Hashem we're not allowed to repeat, because then it's going to be bracha lebatala, or mentioning the name of Hashem Yitbarach with no reason. So on that we're not allowed to. But if you want to say Refa'enu thousands of times, no problems. If you want to say Chonenu Meitcha Chochma Bina Vadat Chonenu Meitcha Chochma Chochma, you can ask as much as you want until you're going to come to the right intention, to the right meaning, that with that you can move to the next blessing. To add,
outside of Shemona Esrei, you're in the street, and all the things till the blessing.
all of the words of prayer, that's a mitzvah of prayer. Of course you're allowed to pray, and you're allowed to use words of Tehillim and words of Siddur or words of whatever to pray. Just the only thing that you're not allowed to is to mention the name of Hashem Yitbarach without the right intention. Even to call Hashem in His name, you're allowed to. When David HaMelech is saying to Hashem, he calls Him in His name, all of the verses that we know, it's written, Hashem Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tilatecha, and he's saying, Adonai Sfatai Tiftach Ufi Yagid Tilatecha. When David HaMelech said it, he called Hashem in His name, and he just said it, and it's allowed. Now for us it's a verse. For David HaMelech it was a regular prayer. It was his mouth saying the words, and he was calling Hashem in His name. It's allowed. When it's allowed when you're talking to Hashem. But if your mind is distracted and you're thinking about other things, and now you're mentioning the name of Hashem, you want to say Hashem, 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 and you forget who you're talking to, and you're not respecting Hashem, so it's to mention the name of Hashem Yitbarach lebatala with no reason, and it's a horrible sin, and it's written that a person that is doing that on purpose doesn't even have a share to the world to come. This is how much that a person needs to be careful in mentioning the name of Hashem. Hashem is very huge, Hashem is very important, Hashem is very great, above everything we can imagine, so need to be very careful. But from the other side, not too careful to lose the things that Hashem gave you that you do allow to do. Means if you pray to Hashem and you talk to Him, you can call Him. And for sure, then that on all of the rest of lines and words that you want to say to Hashem Yitbarach, you're allowed to, and just say and ask and pray, no problems. I wanted to say in addition that once they asked Rav Kook why he's lengthening his prayers so long, why he's praying so many hours. So he said that he doesn't have a certain reason that he wants to pray long prayers. It's not that he's saying, today I'm going to pray long. Just he's praying in a certain way that he's asking his requests from Hashem Yitbarach and he's working with his mind, with his heart, to aim, to come to a certain intention, and when he reaches that intention, he moves to the next place, he's moving to the next bracha. Just it takes him a lot of time to complete his intention, to complete his request, because he's thinking deep, he's got a lot to ask, so it takes him time. But if for you completed in a minute or in 5 minutes, so it's okay to move to the next bracha, and you don't have to say that bracha for 20 minutes or 1 hour, like huge righteous people that are praying 6 hours Shmona Esrei, 12 hours Shmona Esrei. There are righteous people that can stand the whole day and just to daven and to pray and to not to move from Hashem. But it's because they have something to do over there. They're not just wasting their time with their eyes closed.
Okay. One last question. Hello, my name is Stacy Silverstein from Jersey. I know Jewish women are exempt from time-bound commandments, but we are equal as human beings, right? Question mark. So, do men have a higher outcome in life and afterlife simply because they're doing the commandments that God commanded them to do? Good question.
Means if men got,
they're
gonna achieve more than women because they are obligated more in more ways?
They're obligated.
No, the answer is no, and a big no, because it's written, in the future to come, righteous people are sitting with their crowns on their heads, atrotehem berashehem, and Chachamenu explained, atrotehem, those crowns are the women, the wives. So, your wife gonna sit on your head also in the world to come. But
make sure she goes with that.
But on top of that, you need to understand that Chaim, you're not married so long to laugh so much. But need to understand that actually her spiritual level gonna start in the place that yours is finishing. It's written on Sarah Imenu, her floor gonna be above yours, her height gonna start higher than where you finish. There she's gonna start. It's written on Sarah Imenu that she was higher than Avraham Avinu in prophecy. Hashem was talking to her in a clear way because she was a pure vessel. So women, they receive their reward on all of their husbands' mitzvot, obligations, whatever they keep, they are rewarded on that also. And on top of everything that their husband achieved, they're achieving also from their own private achievements. Means if she kept other mitzvot except of what the husband achieved, she's gonna be rewarded on that, on top of that. Because why women been exempt from mitzvot aseh shazman graman, the mitzvot, the obligation that time caused them to be, like mitzvot tefillin. The morning brings the obligation to put tefillin. There are a lot of mitzvot that the times bring you to keep those mitzvot. Why women are exempt from those mitzvot? Because they don't have time. Because they have to take care of so many other things, and this is why they are not obligated, because Hashem understands that they have other things that are not less important. They are keeping different mitzvot in the time that we can go and put tefillin. That's the reason. Once I went to Rav Shalom and I asked him on davening in Minyan to go to Beit Knesset. I told him it's very hard for me in the morning to go to Minyan, and I don't know what to do. I'm losing every morning Minyan, because I'm helping with the children and I'm taking them to Talmud Torah, to school, and I'm not able to complete that. I have to come in a certain time to Kollel, and no Minyan for me. I don't know what to do. So he told me, you're exempt from Minyan. So I told him, I was very scared. I asked him why. He said, what's the reason that women are exempt from Minyan? From Minyan? What did I answer to you now? Because they don't have the time to do that. And you don't have the time, you're also exempt. People, for them, if they're too harsh, too strict, it's hard for them to understand it. But the Torah is Torah of life that's been given to us, that we're going to live while keeping the mitzvot and the obligations of the Torah, and not that we're going to die while trying to keep them. Hashem wants us to have happy houses and happy families and educated children and supported and loved wives, and that we're going to have parnasa, and that we're going to have everything. So this is why there's no time for us to be too strict, and we need to try to achieve whatever we're able to without killing no one on the way.
What would you say to women who ask that question and are not married? They won't be around anybody.
I say that no, of course they will. Of course they will. Like we know, and we have that simple faith that we know that our soul is eternal, and we're coming in a different lifetimes again and again, and you don't know who you are, and you don't know who you were married to in a different lifetime, and you don't know who you married now. You don't know who, and you don't know who is the wife, and you don't know really who is the husband. It can be that a woman today have a soul of a male, and it can be that a male today have a soul of a female. You don't know. Those things are very, very hidden for us to know. So can be a woman that she's not married now, but she is a huge diamond on an amazing crown, and she doesn't really know what's her purpose in life. So now we're coming to the answer on that question, answer on all questions. There's only one answer. It goes to believe in Hashem Yitbarach, to understand that Hashem, He's got a will, and He's preparing everything for us to bring us to the purpose. And if you're not married now, it doesn't mean that you lack of something. Even if the Torah is saying to you that you need to get married, I'm talking now about men, you don't have to achieve it against the will of Hashem. If Hashem is blocking you, if Hashem, you go to Shidduchim, you try to meet your wife, and you cannot find it, there's no complaint on you. Hashem understands that you do whatever you're able to do and that you try the most. For women it's even easier, because also the Torah is not obligating them in the mitzvah of bringing children and getting married. It's just a good thing to do, and for sure going to bring you to a good place. But if Hashem is not creating that reality for you, it doesn't mean that you don't have purpose to believe in Hashem and to commit yourself to Him and to try to keep His will from the place that you are at now. Thank you very much, guys, all of you. God will bless you all.